So today I'm diving into what my weekly schedule has looked like when I was in the height of my wedding photography business. I actually have a full guide that walks you through the details of this, so you can grab that down below. It has space for you to craft out your own weekly schedule so that it really works with your business, your brain, the amount of time that you have each week to work on your business. So diving right in, I have 3 different tips for you. So my first one is having a weekly overview in your business. When I first started, this kind of looked like having 3 or to 5 main tasks that I wanted to get done in the business for any given week. Especially towards the beginning of my business when I had less clients and was working on building out the foundations of my business and the systems and like all of the collateral that I wanted to have in my business. And then as I grew in clientele, a lot of those tasks would be like getting galleries turned around or making sure to follow up with my inquiries and things like that. So having those 3 to 5 like main tasks that you can have to keep your brain in check and look back on the week and be like, oh yeah, I did cross off the main 3 to 5 things. I think that sometimes that can actually be even more beneficial than checking off every single to-do every single day. Because I don't know about you guys, but there is very rarely a day that I get 100%. So having those 3 to 5 things that you want to make sure that are done by the end of the week can be so beneficial. Also having an overview of what you want your week to look like, whether this is like Saturday or Sunday, it doesn't really matter when this happens, but just getting a quick glance of what your upcoming week is going to look like can be so helpful of knowing, okay, I have a shoot on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings. That might mean that I need to have a really quick and easy dinner for those nights. And then keeping that in mind as you actually write down what are the tasks and what are the other to-dos for the week, giving yourself a good overview of the week and just like mentally preparing and being like, oh yeah, I have that wedding that I need to prep for on Friday that's coming up on Saturday can be nice just for your brain to have a game plan going into the week. I do this on Sunday or first thing Monday morning. I really like filling out my planner for the week ahead to get a brief overview of what's going on in the business and also my personal life. I have also in the past used what I call a weekly batch schedule where every single day had the theme of the tasks that I would cover. This really was beneficial for me when I had, okay, I'm only going to be shooting portraits on Tuesday evenings and weddings on Saturdays. And so based off of that, I could really plan around that. So for me, Monday was for working on all the marketing tasks that I had for the business, making sure that all of my content was good to go and scheduled out, creating new content. That was all about Monday. Tuesday was really my client day. So it would be preparing for the shoot that I had that evening, going through all of my client tasks that I had in Honeybook or in Asana and meeting with potential clients. Wednesday had a heavier emphasis on editing because I would know that I was going to be editing whatever photos I took on Tuesday evening. For me, Thursday was that day that I would give myself time to work on my business and treat my business like a client, especially as I was growing and needed time to put those foundational systems in place, create an engagement session style guide, make updates to my website portfolio, anything like that. And then Thursday was also my day for tracking the finances and making sure everything looked good there. And then Friday was my overflow day and my prep for the wedding the next day and catch up on some rest, catch up on personal errands and stuff like that. For me, it was really beneficial to have a theme to each day because if I got a task that had to do with getting something over to my accountant, rather than freaking out about it on Monday, I would just be like, okay, I have time to tackle that on Thursday. It goes on Thursday's to-do list for me. So that was really helpful. And my best tip here is to use something like Google Calendar or a project management system, whether that's your pen and paper planner or Asana or Trello, just so that you can get your to-dos out of your head because that really helps decrease the mental load and frees up your space to actually focus. My second is thinking of using the different system where every single week has a different theme. And so I'm blocking out a couple of days where if I'm not shooting or editing, I'm working on like a bigger business project. And during those days when I have a lot to accomplish for a bigger goal, what's really helpful for me is time blocking my tasks. So that essentially means taking a bigger project and instead of being like work on the website, I'm breaking that task or that project of working on the website down into way more specific tasks that are going to take me anywhere from like 15 to 30 minutes to complete. That's how granular I like to break down the task because otherwise if my brain has a task that feels way too overwhelming, I will procrastinate on that and I won't actually start. So for me, it's really helpful to break that project down and then assign each of those tasks a chunk of time to work on it where I know I have time blocked out to work on it. And sometimes I will rebel against my time blocked schedule of a task being in a certain hourly slot. But essentially, if I have 3 big tasks blocked out on my schedule, even if I do those in a different order, I still know that those 3 things are getting done for the day. This can be really helpful, especially if you're trying to get through editing a catalog. Instead of just saying editing Chris and John's wedding, break that down. Be like, edit 100 photos for 2 to 3 p.m. or edit another 100 photos from 3 to 4 p.m. You can also use this for different parts of your business. So this can be used for responding to emails in your inbox, for creating blog posts, for past shoots that you've had, for going through your analytics and updating your website, etc. You can use this literally for anything in your business. For me, one of the benefits of time blocking is I know exactly how much time I'm going to be working, and when I have that blocked off in the day. Do things come up? Does life happen? Of course, yes. But this is the default that my brain can fall back on, so I don't have to remake the choice of what am I doing every single hour. Like I already have a game plan in place before I sit down and actually open up my laptop to start working of like, what are the 3 main things that I want to accomplish and when do I have time today to accomplish them. Sometimes these time blocks get moved around, but just knowing that I was planning on spending 2 to 3 hours working on the business is really helpful for this specific task. And it really stops me from getting distracted if I know what I want to accomplish in that 1 hour, right? And it was really helpful for me when I was trying to make sure that I was stopping at a certain time each day. So I hope that these tips were super helpful. There is also going to be a more in-depth blog post down for you guys to just read through even more tips and examples when it comes to scheduling out your weekly schedule as a photographer. I've also done like months where I will look at the month at the very beginning of the month and know what like brand shoots I have on the calendar, and then I will plan for my brand shoots, time to edit the brand shoots, and then any other bigger business projects I'll like schedule around that, and then have 2 to 3 days to update my website. So I've gone through seasons where I would just look at the upcoming week and schedule out business tasks around the client work that I have. I think that this can be really helpful if you're in like a busier season where a lot of your work really is client focused. You'll be able to see what shoots do you have on the calendar, how much time related to those do you need to block out and just put on your calendar for like editing. And that's really going to inform how much extra stuff you can work on throughout that month, or like it's going to help you really set boundaries around, okay, like how many consult calls can I take on top of this? Or, oh shoot, my month is already full with the amount of stuff that I'm shooting. If I want to schedule in a portrait session, it can't go in this month because there is no time left. So I'm going to bump that to next month. The thing that I really try to do when I'm using that type of calendar is to make sure that I have at least 1 day every 2 weeks, or like at least 1 full day a month where I can work on my own business, just to feel like I'm still moving the needle forward and I'm not just running a hamster wheel of just working on client work. For me personally, I love working on the business. And so for somebody else, this might be a little bit harder to hold a boundary around, but it has really helped in terms of showing me how much time am I dedicating towards my clients and how much time am I dedicating towards the business. And do I need to put some boundaries in place in terms of the amount of purchase sessions that I'll take any given month, or the amount of weddings that I'll take any given month, because of like the resulting work that's going to block out my space on the calendar. So that's another way to think about managing out your time. I actually have a video that shows you visual examples of all of this. I'm going to make sure it's linked above right here. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in a comment down below and I will be sure to answer them there, or on Instagram. I'm over at Manali Shoot me a DM and I'd be more than happy to get back to you right there as well. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.